Hey guys, this is Dustin, Skidoojunky here. Hey, so just want to make sure everyone knew that yes, we're still alive over here in East Central Illinois. Had a couple people reach out, wonder when the next video is going to be uploaded. Been super busy lately, had to take a little test for work, got that passed my financial advisor exam. Been busy chasing the kids around right now. My daughter is in Iowa with my wife playing softball, and my son Devon and I just got back from Iowa for a weekend of wrestling. So, not really going to talk about a particular model of sled, just talk about a couple of things that have happened over the last few weeks that I haven't been actively posting videos for you guys. So, always keep an eye on Craigslist, always keep an eye on Marketplace. Every once in a blue moon, something will pop up that I've got interest in. So about 3 weeks ago, there was a 92 Mach 1 that popped up on Marketplace in Northwest Illinois. It was one of those sleds you could tell had been sitting for several years, covered in dirt. It was barn fresh. But, if you know where to look at on these sleds for corrosion and damage, it was obvious that there was a diamond in the rough. And I was kind of busy that week with work. That was a week I think I was taking my test, and I'd reached out to the owner, and they kind of told me that it didn't run, hadn't ran in 5 years, and that was the reason why they were only asking $500 for it. So, there was nothing I could do about it that week other than watch the thing on Marketplace because I didn't have time. Devon was wrestling out in Pennsylvania, and he was flying back into Midway, that Saturday night. So I told the owner, I said, hey, if it's still available and you're around on Saturday, I'd like to come look at the sled. They said they would be, and I reached out to them on Friday. It was still available at the time, so I ran up, and lo and behold, it was a very well patinaed 92 Mach 1 that has got a dead hole on the PTO side. Devon and I have already drained the coolant down, pulled the head off just to assess the damage. A little bit of aluminum transfer. I think the cylinder will clean up. Probably put a piston in it and do seals as well, lower end seals. So the story on that one went. It was a wife's sled, a spouse's sled, and it was her baby. The guy told me that she waxed it more than she rode it. And one day trail riding, she kind of cut a corner a little too short and slid it down the side of a ravine. It's got a small crack in the windshield and a little scrape on the one side of the hood. Other than that, it's flawless. It scared her. She said she was done. She sold it to this farmer who was a neighbor, and he took it up north and rode it one time without cleaning the carburetors, and you know the rest of the story. So I think, as of right now, the plan is that's going to be Devon's vintage rider. We're going to use that as a little father-son project. He's helped me do some engine work before, but we'll go through it. Like I said, freshen up the engine a little bit. We'll do my standard, tear it down, powder coat the trailing arms, powder coat all the suspension arms. I've got all brand new zinc hardware to go on the front end. We'll put new skis on it, cut and polish the hood, fix the windshield, ceramic coat the exhaust. And like I said, I think that'll make a really nice vintage rider for him. It's got about 2,500 miles on it. Everything else seems to be intact. And just go through it. This 91, this has been my vintage rider for the last couple years. I bought it off another Yamaha collector in Chicago. It had like 800 miles on it when I got it. And, it's a nice 91 plus, but there was nothing significant about it other than how clean it was. So I decided to ride it. It's got about 1,400 miles on it now. I've taken it up on several trips, and it's a great little sled, turns a lot of heads. I have a lot of fun riding it. Another sled that I recently acquired that is going to be my new vintage rider, because I think I am going to mothball the 91 plus for the most part. I won't say I'm completely done riding it, but I'm going to probably shift my emphasis towards these. I mean, the 93 colors, the pastels, if you didn't like those colors in 93, you just weren't American. I've got the matching suit, helmet, the whole 9 yards. I bought this off another Skidoo enthusiast up in Wisconsin, good friend of mine, Tim Duar. Bought a lot of stuff off him. He's always got good stuff. And this sled had kind of sat in his shed, and he said he'd lost interest in it. He was kind of going to do the same, but it's all there. Seat needs touched up just a little bit, a couple stitches pulled loose. Motor, I think, is good. We're going to go through the fuel system on this and the 92. My process on that is we take the tanks off, we clean the tanks, we dry the tanks, we start inside the tank and work our way out. All new OEM grommets, OEM. I've got several hundred feet of original Skidoo fuel line, new filters, and if you know anything about both these sleds, they have twin fuel pumps, so there's a lot of fuel line to replace, but we're going to do it all. Primer, really just go through and make them to where they're going to be trail worthy and something that we can ride. So I'm excited for this one. I love the 93 graphics. I'll do the same with it. It's going to get the trailing arms ceramic or powder coated, all the front suspension done, the exhaust ceramic coated, and I'll try and document that along the way so you guys can kind of see what my process is to doll one up and make it present like this 91 does. But want to take one other minute and acknowledge a special person. Don't go anywhere without him. It's like American Express card. Devon, come on over here real quick. So some of you guys have met my son, Devon. He has a twin sister, Lainey. He's 14, and Devon's a pretty sharp guy. I mean, he helps me with everything that I do, and I'm really proud of him. He's a very accomplished wrestler. So when Devon was 7, he decided to take up youth wrestling, and it was at that moment my snowmobiling kind of got put on pause. And any extra time I had, I just did collecting and restoring because we were busy wrestling. And any of you that know anything about wrestling, it's probably the hardest sport that there is. Requires the most amount of dedication and hard work. And I'm willing to let my snowmobile and take a back seat to Devon's wrestling because he's so passionate about what he does and he works his butt off at it. Devon, like I said, is extremely accomplished. He's a 2-time consecutive state champ now in middle school. He is a folk style. He won folk style nationals this year. He's placed at Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff. Just some of his accolades. He's a Triple Crown state champ. He won a state title in all 3 styles in the state of Illinois this year. So he won a state title in folk style, freestyle, and Greco. I think there was a handful of kids in the entire state that did that. But super proud of this guy. Wouldn't go anywhere without him. That's going to be his new vintage rider. He's excited to be on it. You can tell by his smiling. But appreciate you guys coming out today. Thanks a lot. Look.